We have Galaxy Photon for you today. Sky Striker returns with Trickstar, of all things. And yes, more Fire Kings. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You know, I love every single week when we can actually see Galaxy Eyes the Pile actually being successful out here, because it does show that there are so many random ideas that you can have in this meta and actually have work out for you that it's actually pretty good. Also, you know, some of these rank 8 options that you have that you can mess around with in the meta are incredibly good. I mean, Snaphold is one of those good options. Of course, you know, you have your utility pile of everything Galaxy Eyes in the whole wide world that you get. And also, you know, having C92 now as an additional little resource for you is actually pretty good. And let's not forget, Tachyon Transmigration, the freest blow out everything on a chain link that you could ever actually have, you know, and do technically wish that this was searchable. I think everybody wishes that the Tachyon Transmigration was an actual searchable card so you could kind of get things off the ground. But nonetheless, okay, so I see that we are also sporting off one copy of the Galactic Aribo. Your Photon Galaxy numbers are pretty much what they should be. I have no problem with these numbers. Photon Thrasher as a one-of, you're not really seeing people running out here going, hey, you know, you need to maximize on Thrasher anymore. No. If anything, it's an incredibly dead card. I see that we're playing one of the numbers Last Hope in here as well. And then, of course, one Galaxy Zero. Most of your equip lines, I think, are pretty good. Also interesting to note, we are playing an Upstart Goblin in here as well. And then post side decking, we also see Photon Hand in here as well. Also an additional copy of the Photon Sanctuary, so you can kind of get things going here. But interesting. I like this a lot. Next up here, we have our Trickstar pile. Man, this takes me back. Now, for those of you that don't remember the concept behind this deck, basically what this deck wants to do is it's going to take advantage of the Sky Striker package to set up, you know, interruptions / the ability to take your opponent's stuff. And I mean, outside of that, like, this is just an advantage pile. To be fair, I think Trickstar, they probably should have learned that they needed a way to kind of generate advantage, because that's the thing that kind of makes people look at modern era Trickstar right now and go, hey, you know, like, this deck, with how much of the game just goes vroom, 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 you know, through the full combo lines and all the little craziness out here, you need ways to kind of set up. And, you know, this build is a little bit slower at doing things. So the good news is, though, if you do go first here, you do get the chance to see our favorite combo in the whole wide world, the absolute blowout pile, as we're going to call it, the Trickstar Reincarnation and the Draw and Lockbird. Yeah, it is still incredibly devastating how stupid this little combo can actually get you off of the ground and keep you in the game. Maybe we need to ban Trickstar. No, we don't. This little package right now is fine. Also, do take note, we are playing Scapegoat. This gives you more link climbing actual options here, and that's good. Honestly, I think a lot of people forget about Scapegoat actually being a card. There was a time where Scapegoat was actually crazy broken, but, you know, look at the current, you know, foundation of the card. Just link climbing, whatever, free access code talker, sure. Next up here, we have more Fire Kings. Now, in the current state of this deck, I will say it is very, very, very fragile. It's not that it's not at the top of its game. No. Don't get me wrong when I say that. It's just, if you think that, you know, post Poppius that you're going to get the same level of crazy results, no, it's not going to happen. You are a very strong engine at this point in time. But by engine, I mean, like, you're seeing a lot more of the Fire King base than you are like post Poppius, where, you know, you can kind of extend out more towards this side of things. and have things work out. Now, we do see the Flamberge Dragon actually coming to light here and actually being a little tech choice for this build, which is actually kind of good. I am very, very, very positive about this card. Also, we are playing one copy of the Snake Eyes Ash, so the additional level ones that you can kind of, I mean, Ash also turns on in to, well, you know, level 1 fire monster. Oh, also, you know, this is a thing that you can actually do with the deck. You got to remember, as many little combo lines and things you can kind of jam pack in to one of these decks, however much advantage that you can do. At least for the full combos, is really good. Also, we're getting a jump start down here on the Ambler Whale, which soon, you know, we'll see some differences. I also see that I have a feeling the TCG is going to take a lot more advantage of HITA, especially, you know, depending on how our format sets up. We've already seen massive, massive, massive buyouts around the HITA Super Rare at this point, which is just telling me that people want to get super, super ready for this stuff. Next up here, we have Chimera Branded. Now, I want to preface this. This deck has been losing a lot of the popularity that it had in the very early stages. A lot of people are stepping away from this build, and they're going either more towards Branded, or they're dropping the deck altogether. Now, with that being said, though, the deck is just kind of fragile. And I think that's obviously like, oh boy, a random ping from your opponent's hand, and then whatever, you know, interruption power / protection you're sitting down there, you know, is that going to be enough at the end of the day to, you know, keep the deck going? You know, are your super poly interruptions, you know, going to be enough? And I think that's where a lot of the problems are kind of coming in right now with the deck, is its playlines are just garbage. Like, it doesn't necessarily have crazy board breaking. I do see that, you know, we do have Crossout Designator, but if Droll and Lockbird, you know, touches down, this deck just falls apart. And that's the biggest thing is, you know, in a format where Droll, you know, you turn the corner, Droll is watching you, you know, you're going to have a terrible time. Like, that's all there is to it. So you got to play things like the Crossout Designator now, so you don't lose to that random BS. And that's, once again, where your problem starts to come in. You do see, like, we do see the additional Droll down here. We also play a Veiler as well. The tech choices are kind of cute for this version of the deck. I think it's fine. I mean, you're also citing a Change of Heart, too, which is also kind of cute. Once again, the cuter options that you're presented with in a deck like this are fine. It's just, you know, is it going to be the most optimal, or, you know, is it going to crumble into the dust? Well, interesting. And our last list that we have here is Hrunic. Now, this build is getting away with 41 cards, which is fine. They're actually maximizing on Pot of Duality, which is an interesting choice. I'm not exactly the most for sure about this, but it is something to, you know, get the filtering options. I guess you can do the special summoning during your opponent's turn and try to, you know, sift through things. Triple of Mono is also interesting. I liked 2. This build isn't even playing Border, but I guess, once again, it comes down to your tech choices. This build's also playing 2 copies of the Scrubbed Raid. Also maximizing a triple Morganite. I honestly find myself looking at Morganite as a 2 of, and it typically being a lot better. Of course, triple Golem, yeah, get out of your sphere mode. But because we're doing some mono stuff, I see we're cheesing up this extra deck a little bit, cutting back on, you know, some of the fat with maybe too many Moonins, only 1 Frecky. Okay, and of course this build is playing Shifter. We've seen Shifter gaining a lot more output out here as a card that definitely helps out, you know, the sideboard, and of course our little favorite time card. I do see that we do have things like Raigeki and Lightning Storm, so this actually gives this deck a chance to board wipe the opponent, and then you can kind of go ahead and start to set up, you know, or at least, you know, start Runic combo without really being worried about anything, or at least blow through and negate. So those are our top decks that we have for today. Very, very interesting stuff, I'll say that. So, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. See your beautiful faces back at the end of the day, guys. Peace. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.